Hello friends and welcome to my YouTube channel Simply Stocks, and today it is Sunday and it is the question answer session. So let's understand what are the questions that have come in and what is my view about the markets. So let's get started. First of all, a disclaimer that this is not a stock recommendation, and people taking any position into any share that I talk about should do that with their own due diligence and research, and I'm not in favor or against any company that I talk about. Before I start with the question answer session, here's a small request that kindly support me through Patreon. And once you provide details on Patreon and support me through there, I'll be able to make better videos on YouTube with more analysis. And also, once I'll have more than 100 Patreons, I'll start with an educational course on investment and trading for no additional cost on YouTube. So you can go to the Patreon network. I have made a lot of articles and videos on it. And once you become a patron there, you can ask me questions at any time of the day, and I'll be there to respond to you. The patronage starts from only $2 a month. That's just 145 rupees a month for you. So before I answer all your queries that have come in over the last 1 week, here's an idea of the market. I think markets are all set for this final fall, which will going to take at least 2 to 4 months. So it's not going to happen in a jiffy or in 1 week or 2 weeks. So there is going to be a lot of gyration, and normally market takes 6 to 8 months to bottom out. So we are in for a tough April, in which the markets would go up and go down as well. So very tough for the traders. May see less than 7,000 levels soon. So it will take probably 5 6 weeks from here. You might be able to see 6,800 levels or so. And if things not get well in terms of the external environment, and in India especially, then we could see levels of 6,800 6,500 pretty soon. That is what is it seems like, and that is what my experience says. Although we could see up moves as well, but eventually we are headed lower, and we are headed towards 6,500 6,000 levels. Capitulation should start happening from probably mid of April. So from here on in, we could see a rebound on Tuesday from 7,900 levels. We could see a 2 300 point move, but that would be just a false move. And these are all, you can say, bear market rallies in which you don't have to get trapped. And probably after 2 or 3 rises and falls, you'll see a big move going forward. When the pessimism will be high, the market would start to move up. So that is my understanding. Volatility may reduce depending on news, and volatility may increase if the news is extremely bad from the external environment, as I just mentioned. So do not fear the fall which will take place, and buy top businesses. I have discussed about many businesses which are top class businesses, and you can buy for 3 to 4 year period. And over the next 3 years, things will improve and economy will revive, and you would have a situation where markets would be again nearing the highs, so in 3 4 years time. So this storm will also pass by, and at 7,000 levels will be trading at 14 times 2 year forward earnings. At 6,000 will be trading at something like 12 times 2 year forward earning, and that could be around 6 to 5,500 to 6,000 could be the final, you can say, fall and bottom, as we were talking about maximum. Now let's understand what are the questions that have come in. So but Bati has asked my view on ITC and given his view on ITC, that ITC might have bottomed out and would give very good returns in the coming years. Well, it may well be that ITC may well double from here in the next 3 4 years for sure. But there would be many stocks that would become 5 6 8x in this 4 5 years. So yes, a safe bet would be ITC, and I do not counter the points that you have put in with respect to their numbers, with respect to dividend yield and the business kind of business they have in the tobacco domain, and so on and so forth. Plus, they have a business which is more or less on FMCG. There could be demerger, etc. Yes, but over the last 5 6 years, it has not performed well. So that is a kind of a skepticism that is coming into my mind while investing into ITC or recommending it. But yes, for a safe bet over the next 4 or 5 years, for sure you can get into ITC. Uh, Now, Om Muruga has said that Kilpest has not performed well in terms of earnings, in terms of EPS growth or profitability, and their debtor days are high, etc., and so on and so forth. Now, you need to take into consideration that Kilpest India is more or less an agrochemical sort of a business, and that business is not doing well for the last couple of quarters, and that's why you're seeing pressure in the numbers of Kilpest India. But if you look at the consolidated numbers of Kilpest, that includes the numbers of 3B Black Bio, which makes a different sort of medical equipments, and that's where they've got the approval from ICMR and so on and so forth. So if you look at 3B Black Bio website, it is totally different from Kilpest. If you look at the numbers of 3B Black Bio, if you look at when you search on Google about the presentations of 3B Black Bio in terms of their numbers, or Kilpest presentations, quarterly presentations, yearly presentations of the last couple of years, you will understand that the consolidated numbers and the numbers of 3B Black Bio has been stupendous. So just to tell you in a nutshell, it has grown its revenue by more than 30-35% over the last 3-4 years. It has grown its EBITDA margin has expanded tremendously, and it has grown its profits by 50 to 55% over the last 3-4 years. So the company on a consolidated basis was doing really well for the last 4-5 years, from 1 rupee EPS, I think in 2015-16 or somewhere around that. It has gone to an EPS of 8 rupees right now in just 3 or 4 years, and it seems like it's going to come up with an EPS of 13 plus 13-14 rupees in FY21. So FY21 EPS could be closer to 13 rupees, 14 rupees minimum. And if you consider it having an EPS of 13 rupees and it being a diagnostic company now after getting ICMR approval and so on and so forth, you could see Kilpest India trading at around uh, 50 times earnings. So 13 into 50 is 650, and that is why I'm saying that minimum it can go to 450 levels in the next 1 year or so. In the next 4 or 5 quarters or so, easily it can go to 450, 500. And this was my reason for saying this. Now, when can you get into it? Many queries are coming in that people are not able to get into the stock because it is on circuits. The only way you can get into it is let the bid being done, and if the stock falls or if somebody sells, only then you can get. If nobody is willing to sell, then you cannot get the stock at that price, and then you have to wait for the next day if it goes on a circuit again. So right now getting the shares are extremely difficult, but I have been recommending Kilpest for the last probably 5-6 months, 4 months, and I did not see this coming, that this thing would help Kilpest. But if you take this out, even the business of 3B Black Bio is extremely robust, and just purely on that basis, it looked like that Kilpest would become 2x, 3x from here in the next 2-3 years. So that was why I always recommended it, and I believe that on a consolidated basis it would be a huge company now, and there will be a complete re-rating of the stock. That is my opinion. So if you get an opportunity on any lower circuits or whenever the circuit opens up, you can get into it. But if it becomes extremely expensive, don't get into it. That there have been questions that whether one should buy big time into it and buy 20-30% of their portfolio. Don't do that. Buy only 5% of your total investment, but put some money into it, and you never know, it could just make you a 10 bagger, 8 bagger from here. uh, Maybe it won't, but we'll see what happens in the due course of time. So let's look at what is the next question that have come up. So the next question is from Susila, and she has asked about the question on Cosmo Films, and she has invested into the stock from a higher level. So what needs to be done? That is the query. So Cosmo Films is a very good company that provides aluminum foils and other kinds of films, etc., for imaging it and so on and so forth. But the company has not been doing well ever since there have been some plastic bans, and a lot of things that have gone on in which there have been duties attached to some of the products that they used to import for raw material, that they used to import for their production of their products. So that is why the company is under pressure. I would suggest on any up move you exit the company. That could only thing I could suggest, because the numbers have not been great and it doesn't look like such companies would come back into favor very quickly over the next 6 months to a year. So if an up move comes in because of the small cap run up and so on and so forth, just exit the stock. SKPP or SCAP has asked, he is stuck in Aisha Motors, probably at higher levels, so he might have bought it at 18, 20,000, did not specify the exact price. Uh, and he wants to ask whether he should buy, sell, or hold the company, buy more at these prices. I would suggest you start accumulating at these levels all the way down to 9,000, 9,500 levels. I'm not saying it will go down that much, but even if it goes down, I am now becoming a bit positive on the auto sector, which I was not about 3 months back, because of the kind of valuations we are into. Yes, the recovery will may take place a year, but the stocks will start moving up. I feel in the after the next 2 months, or whenever the recovery comes in the market, we could see a heavy recovery in very good auto stocks like Eicher and Maruti, and that's why these are very good levels. I don't have much money, otherwise I would have invested into Eicher. I'm looking at Tanla and Kilpest and so on and so forth. Sorry, Tanla and FL. Uh, Eicher Motors below 13,000 is a steal, and anywhere close to 10,000 would be a I'll be a big buyer into it. Yes, it could go down to further. So if you buy at 11,000, it could go to 8,000. Yes, there's no point asking about that. But what would be the targets in the next 3 years? Easily in the next 3 years, it could double from the levels, whichever levels you buy, whether 12,000, 11, or 8,000, 10,000. So that is why I would suggest that yes, you keep on adding if you have money on depths. Okay, this is interesting that JR has said that after reading a Glassdoor review from one of the employees of FL, or could be the employee of FL, and you cannot confirm, or probably that he has exited FL India, because they are saying, he said, the person on Glassdoor, that the FL management is not tech savvy and they are not no way related to the technology field, and whatever software that they are using or producing are not, you can say, new age, and that is being used worldwide or globally and all that. uh, First of all, as far as I know about the management, or the management, the head of the company, the CEO, he is a computer engineer. That's what I know. So probably he would be knowing about what is being done in the company. I've seen some of the videos of his interviews, and I am impressed with the way he's projecting about the future. Yes, management could go wrong. There have been a lot of managements, Vakrangi, Manpasand, CCD, and many more, which have gone burst. So you cannot just rely on management words, but the numbers speaks for themselves, and FL India has produced a continuous growth of 24-25% yearly over the last 10 years, and they intend to produce growth of 27% over the next 10 years on an average CAGR basis. And this problem that has taken place and engulfed the world today has really hurt FL, because their main business is from Europe and US, and it is a complete shutdown in that region. But I think over the next 2 months, recovery should come in there, and the businesses should start operations by June or so. So probably next 2 months are ideal to buy into FL next 5-6 weeks, and I'm sure you would be in profit. I don't think the company is going to shut down or anything like that. So anywhere between 650 to 900, between those levels, would be extremely good to get into FL. That's my opinion. I think the business is robust, it has performed well, and if you're very unlucky, then only the company, maybe the management would falter and all that. But considering what kind of numbers that are out and what has happened in the past, the company look very strong, on a strong footing, and we could see levels of 1700 2000 in the next 2 to 3 years for sure. And if you get it around 800 to 600 levels, these are good levels to get into. Does 3M makes masks? That is being asked by Rahul, and my answer is yes. They do make masks. They do make protective equipments, which is PPE. They make other kinds of plastic equipments as well, and many other products. There are zillions of products that 3M India makes, and that's why the company is trading at 50, 60 times earnings, or even in good times it was trading at around 80 times earnings. So yes, 3M India do make masks. What about SRF? Asked Samir. So I'm going to make a video on SRF very soon, probably this week or in a couple of weeks' time. So you can go ahead and look at it. I'm positive about SRF. Any declines, major declines in the stock, not at these levels, but more declines in the stock when the market goes to 7500 7000 levels. Get into such companies like SRF, Pidilite, PI Industries, the other chemical companies like Sudarshan Chemicals, Vinity Organics, so many Galaxy Surfactants, etc. These are good companies to get into on major declines. So more questions that have come in from viewers. Siri D has asked that should he accumulate MCX? Well, MCX is down because the trading hours of commodity business have been reduced from midnight to 5 p.m. So normally the commodity trading used to continue till 11:55. That's what I know. 11:30, 11:55 p.m. But it has been reduced by SEBI to 5 p.m. and that would have a severe impact on the earnings of MCX because it is a commodity exchange. So yes, you can buy into it on dips, and when things really get going, these stocks will perform. MCX is a good fundamental stock, so yes, you can do that. So should I accumulate ICICI Bank, Kotak Bank, and Bajaj Finance IGL now? Ujjal has asked, you can accumulate IGL at around 300 for sure, but I am not very sure about the banks and the NBFCs, especially Bajaj Finance. I'm not gung ho about it. I think its big time is gone, so that move that we have seen from around 4 500 rupees or 150 200 rupees all the way to 5000 rupees over the last 8 10 years, I think those times are gone. Yes, it can give you returns of 18-20%. You have to be nimble footed, so it could be in a range for the next 2 3 4 years, and the next up move might not happen in the financials. That is my opinion, so I would not suggest, and these are all my personal opinion. Take your own judgment and call, but my opinion is that the financials and the NBFCs might not do that well whenever the next bull run begins. Okay, Walkie Talkie has asked that he's in profits in Himadri Chemical. So you're a lucky one that you've got in at 30 31. Probably exit around 60. I don't see it going beyond 60 at max. There are problems with the kind of products that they are producing because the prices of those products have come down. Secondly, for importing the products or raw materials from which they make the products, Himadri Chemicals, those prices have gone up, so it's being a double whammy for the stock, and that's why the company is not doing well and will continue to have bad numbers coming in the next 2 3 quarters. So exit on a big up move in Himadri Chemicals. So after Himadri Chemicals, let's see what is the next question. So Jay Krishnan has asked when to enter Sanofi India. I think Sanofi India is a very good stock to get into. Any declines from current levels of 8 to 10% would be good levels to get into Sanofi India, but have a good 6 7 year time frame and keep on adding on declines. I don't know on which prices these stocks would stop. It would be prudent to put in 10% on every 4 5% fall, and you'll be able to have a very nice average price. So that's how you get into Sanofi. Now there's a question on Cosmo Films by Cecilia as to what is my view on Cosmo Films. So as I explained, I think you need to avoid Cosmo Films for the time being and probably buy it on any sell it on any major rise and exit the company and buy into some pure FMCG or consumer company which is a slightly larger company into the mid cap or the large cap domain. Okay, so some more questions that have come in, and many people have asked whenever I put up a video of a stock which is 4 rupees, 8 rupees, 15, 20 rupees, that why do I waste time in putting up videos of such sorts which are 4 5 rupees. So, uh, my explanation to that is this, that for instance, if you consider a stock like Manpasand Beverages, it was one of the marquee stocks of the FMCG brand. It was perhaps regarded as the next Nestle and all that kind of a thing, next Coke, Pepsi, and would produce very good results. Used to produce 40% profit growth, 25-30% sales growth. It was trading at 60 times earnings at around 500 rupees, and then the revelation came out about the inflated numbers, profitability, etc, and the stock is now trading at around 4 rupees, 8 rupees or so. So the company has gone burst. Yes, it doesn't deserve that we make videos on it, but many people get stuck into such companies and there's no way to get out, and hardly any television channel or experts would take in their questions because the company is already in doldrums. The why to take the questions. That's why I try to make videos on it as well in midweek, as to help those people who are already invested into the company and are making a lot of losses, say 60-70%, to at least understand as to what they should be buying, and also understand as to why they should exit the company, rather than thinking of holding on to it and the stock would double triple from there or become 10x and their value would come in. So that's why I feel it is important for them to be knowing as to why they should exit and what is happening with the company. Okay, so there's an interesting question that has come in from Murga, and he said that do you stick to all your New Year recommendations that you gave? So I just looked at the video, and these are the recommendations that I gave: Aisha Motors, Motherson Sumi, IRCTC, Marico, and Page Industries. Of course, they are down 40% on an average from their high price. Yes, I do stick with my recommendations. I think Motherson Sumi would easily be 3x from these levels in the next 3 4 years. I have no doubt about it. I think the auto industry, and I have made videos on the auto sector earlier, say 6 months ago also, and I made something like 3 4 videos over the last 6 months, that the auto industry should revive by 2021. So 1 year more to go, and probably this pain of the market would also sink auto to a deeper trouble. And this fall has come in an accelerated manner. The fall that had to come by December might have come already, and so I feel it is a bottoming out process of the auto stocks, and they'll start moving up well before the recovery in the auto industry comes in. So that's why I'm positive about Aisha and Motherson. I'm sorry. In IRCTC, I'm positive because it is a marquee railway business which is a monopoly. Again, it would be in trouble for the next 3 months, 6 months, but over the next 3 4 years, it is a big, you can say, play, and you can make big money into it. Page Industries is a marquee brand in itself, and everybody would like to get into it. Yes, the return ratio, the margins have reduced, but the stock has also been reduced to from 30 odd thousand to all the way to 16,000 or so. So one has to take that into consideration. Marico, I'm positive because the stock never performed over the last 4 5 years, whereas other FMCG companies have, and they have some of the marquee brands in niche space. So it should do well, and it has been doing well over the last 1 month or so. Yes, has fallen from those January levels. So I'm positive about all these companies at the moment. Bhaskar has asked, would you buy Bajaj Finance now? No. He looked at my video of Bajaj Finance about 2 3 months back. Yes, I made that video. I said that it would be a very good level to get into, between 3,500 4,000. It's at 2,200, so you should buy. But things have changed, and I have a feeling that NBFCs and financials will be out of favor for a longer period of time than we think. They'll have more pain coming in their way with the kind of economy slump we are into. Already the economy was down, and with this lockdown and all these things, we could see a major impact on the economy that would come with a lag. So though that impact would come in after you can say the monsoon and so on and so forth, and we'll see financials go down in another heap, probably 3 4 months down the line. That's why I'll avoid Bajaj Finance. View on Bombay Oxygen, Kajaria, check 3 man. Kajaria is a complete avoid. Kajaria will only do well when Indian economy grows at 6.5 7%. Only then these material companies which makes building material would do well. Bombay Oxygen is a play more or less on the markets because their major businesses into stock investments, I think mutual funds investments and so on and so forth. When the markets go up, I think Bombay Oxygen will do well. So that is my opinion on these two companies. Rajiv Reddy has asked me about the opinion on Heidelberg Cement. Avoid Heidelberg Cement. If you really want to get into a cement company, then I would suggest you get into Ultratech or ACC. But again, have a very long term view because I am not very bullish about the infrastructure space. So I'm not bullish about you can say anything related to infrastructure, whether it's a capital goods, cement, or roads, and all these companies like GVK, GMR, and all of these ITT cementations and all that. I'm not very positive about all these sectors. And the only thing I am positive about are top brands which are slightly monopolistic and have pricing power. They'll do well, and these are all consumer domains businesses you should look at. Sujit Kumar has asked that can we buy Gujarat Gas and put it in the same league as Mahanagar Gas and all? Yes, definitely you can, but buy on declines. Don't buy on upmove. Buy on major declines. Have a very good average price, which is lower. Have a good 2 3 year view, and have a target which is double of what you buy at. So that is my opinion. You can easily make 100% in the next 3 years in something like Gujarat Gas. So these were about I wanted to cover all the questions that have come in, and probably I have few questions I missed. So kindly put in your queries again, and probably next week I'll cover those. Please like and subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon so that you can get my videos straight away when I post it. Thanks a lot for watching.